reason that it's so important for us to talk about this is because we made an agreement to talk about the apparently good and apparently bad. This is an actual reality show, not a we're on an island eating worms for money reality show. Instead, we're in a tiny thin space doing grand adventures and coping with real stuff. And the toxicity. Do you want me to share my view of it or yours?
Well, I'm sad to say that I wasn't acting in a very Wishing Faery-like way. There's a lot of threat in this to me, and it's not because I didn't think I could live with another person. It's that I wasn't wanting to live with another person, and I've never invited anyone on my journey with me. In fact, I've turned down a lot of people, and there were all kinds of issues coming at me from all different angles going, are you sure you want this? Are you sure you want this? Is this something? And then they got bigger than they actually were. And the fears took over. And admittedly, jealousies took over. And suddenly the little problems became bigger problems in my head, and the things I didn't understand became things I was really nervous about, and it didn't matter what she said or did. I was still going to, well, I guess I can't say that I was going to jump to a negative as much as I was battling them, because I didn't jump to negative so much as I would have to fight them off, and the thoughts in my head were getting very negative. And there's things whenever you're living with other people that you have to learn about their idiosyncrasies, and their characteristics. And I've never been about changing people, so I tend to hold in the things that make me go, aren't you kidding me, And there were times where I'd just be like, and then it got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier, and I started getting mean. I was being very mean. I know I was. Because there were times I thought to myself, I'm surprised she's still here, being that I just was so mean. And I'm not a mean person, so that's part of what I started to investigate too. And then one night, after an absolute beautiful but extremely stressful night, Maggie was very sick, and we were in two vehicles in order to get to an emergency vet. And Joy absolutely stepped up and contacted the vets and helped get rides. And she's very bold. I'm not nearly as bold as you are, and so that even makes me uncomfortable, because I'm like, oh gosh, what if they think negatively because of her boldness? But they never do. She just kind of steps up and says, okay, this is what needs to happen. Where am I going? That's her figuring it out, is where is it? I'll find it. And so she manifested the rides, or helped manifest the rides, and manifested the vets and the whole nine to get us there, and did healings in the vehicles with our two drivers. And I channeled that energy towards the dog at the same time, and the next thing you know, she was doing well. Okay, so that stress is over. We get back to the RV. So
we didn't have to go to the dog was doing.
No, she was doing fine, right? Yeah. She gets to the RV, and we were on a conversation, and a word took us to an experience that I had that was a negative experience, and I ended up making a big, huge portrayal of what I saw as a negative characteristic,
which didn't actually exist. The story.
It was such a. And the situation was that her friend had died, and I was being extremely insensitive to that, and it hurt her on a huge level. And suddenly, all that animosity that had been eating at me for a long time was put right smack dab in my face. And I'm sad and sorrowed that I hurt my friend, but at the same time I am so grateful that it came out, because then I can look at it, and I don't let that stuff go if I know. If I don't know, then I don't know. I knew but didn't know what to do because it was like a battle. It's constantly a battle. I wasn't fighting it though. I was feeding it. I was feeding the beast.
And how many people can relate to that? I mean, it's been so challenging for me too, because I thought after 18 years of being on walkabout in this hemisphere, I thought I was finally going to get to settle down and with my community and Encinitas, and I was told by upstairs management, no, you've got to put all your stuff back in storage and go to Mount Shasta for the total eclipse, and you may or may not be back. And if you know me, you know that I'm designed to live entirely in service to divine will. A drunk driver qualified me to be excellent for this particular work. And I qualified myself after that. Actually, that's not true. A drunk driver was the incentive for me to have the magical brain that I have. And my job is to go wherever I'm sent and do whatever it is I'm supposed to do there. Get out of the way and let whatever's supposed to flow through. And this was not my idea of anything I wanted to do. And we asked for sign after sign and got sign after sign from the when I arrived at Fairy Worlds. I'm going, are you sure about this, God? And the first thing I see is white peacocks crossing my path. The first thing I see. And that's my thing. That's how I met her after the White Peacock Academy. And then we got the Wild Wish Woman download, and I said, oh no. If you want us to do this, I need a huge sign, an enormous sign, and a White Peacock shrine appeared 20 feet from the wish wagon in direct line of sight. And then we got to Las Vegas, and I said, am I going to be able to get to a tree? Like, because I need to be able to get to a tree. That's how, when I need healing or grounding or anything, I go to trees. I'm not so much a people person. And she said, well, yes, but you can't access it because there's a junkyard dog that's been there for 4 years, and the family doesn't go outside because it barks incessantly all the time. And again, I told God, this isn't going to work. I need silence. I can't handle a barking dog. We got there, the dog didn't bark for like a week. We thought it was dead. And now it barks like a normal dog, but it's never gone back to its ferocity. But every time I ask, every time, I saw your insecurities and everything coming up, and I completely understood them, because I'm used to living alone too, or in my own. We both like a lot of alone time. So I understood, and I understood the jealousy, because you explained it to me. I mean, how does the Wishing Faery stand with the wish granter? You haven't found the. To me, it's obvious, because I think at different levels. To me, we're on parallel missions. We're not on the same mission. We're on parallel missions. She's junior school. She teaches people the things that they need to know before they get to me. I represent college with the White Peacock Academy. I'm way out there for the majority of people, and you are absolutely accessible to the people that I would never meet, because it's two entirely different levels. I met somebody at Lucidity this last couple of days who I think he's the Jedi arm. I want him. He's as different as we are, doing
Riff,
an essential job.
Yes.
Riff at Kung Flow, you can find him at. But to me, I don't feel at all jealous. I feel admiration, and because I understand more than you do about our positioning in place, and how I see it from a very different angle. So I'm not even a little bit threatened by you. I'm like, ooh, a teacher. You know, because I don't often find somebody that I want to learn from. But I want to learn from you. So I've put up with a lot of shift.
Definitely a lot of shift.
And the thing too that I find so valuable in my relationship with you, what I get out of it, me personally, I have asked for extreme growth. I'm up leveling to be the next grandest version that I can conceive of and better. Because do you feel it? Do you feel the urgency? I know that I need to be the best me I can be. So,
Me too.
right? Exactly.
And I wasn't being the best me that I could be on a lot of levels. It wasn't just you. I was having animosity feelings towards a lot of people. And that's not healthy at all. I know animosity kills the carrier, not the cause.
Well, it also kills the people around it. Yeah, both, all of it. But you're right, it was an underlying pattern that needed to be addressed in order for you to be able to move forward into the next level of your power.
Absolutely.
And I was the perfect person to reflect that back at you, because even though it really wounded my heart and made me take some big step back, what you said was so obviously outrageous, ridiculous, malicious, that I knew it wasn't you.
Yeah, as I looked
Because
back
that's
on it,
not
I was
good.
like, where did that come from? And that's what made it completely clear and apparent. And then it needed to happen.
Yes.
It needed to before we
It did.
officially took off.
Absolutely did. So when we're doing toxic dumps,
Physically, mentally, or emotionally.
yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of